Hey everybody, Eric Schweitzer here from The Gamer. Welcome to another episode of Your Favorite Game, joined by my two favorite co-hosts, George, Certified Fresh Foster.
Yes, I love it. Hello.
And Stacy, aka Rated Jackass the movie, half a star on Letterboxd Henley. Is that true?
That is true. It's not a movie. It's just a bunch of I don't really like Jackass, and then I watched the movie, and it was just the show, but longer and stranger.
Yeah.
That's the magic. What is wrong with that?
What do you have against guys being dudes?
I didn't mind. I actually didn't mind like the show because obviously I love Tony Hawk. But I watched the movie. I didn't watch it at the time. Like I didn't watch any of the movies. It was when the fourth one came out. And I was like, I'm gonna go through and watch it. Maybe it'd be fun. And it was just them doing random. And I know that's what the show is.
It's Jackass. What do you?
It's about the camaraderie.
Did you expect like a moving narrative because it was in the movie format?
I suppose I felt it was going to be like
It
was going to begin in medias res, and it was going to be like conflicting timelines.
I don't think you were meeting Jackass on its own terms.
Probably not.
I mean, Wee Man gets punched in the balls by a giant boxing glove. What more do you want?
That's character development if ever I saw it. You know? I love Jackass.
Well, that was my lead into today's topic, which is your favorite game with bad reviews. And as always, we set no parameters for our topic. I just said bad reviews. I'm curious to find out if we're all on the same page with what a bad review is. This is something that's a bit contentious in video games. I think there's a critic perspective and there's like a Johnny Gamer perspective about this.
Yep.
And I would say that compared to other types of art, or at least media, game reviews skew towards the top end.
100%.
Yeah.
On Metacritic, the coloration is different. Because it goes like green, yellow, red, but the markers for games are different because it's rarer for games to score into the 70s.
Right. And people will say, and by people I mean IGN will say, that that's because most games are good.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
they take a long time to make. So they must be at least kind of good. And also, we don't spend our time with that. Like, you can watch
We don't review bad games.
That's bad. Yeah. But if you're going to play a game, it's probably worth covering.
Yep.
On the other hand, this is kind of a hard topic to research because if you try to look up the best games with bad reviews, all you're going to find is a bunch of people complaining about games that got an 80.
Yes, indeed.
Or people complaining about a specific IGN review, not to keep dogging on them. but a lot of people get really upset about
having
IGN's
done some
reviews.
research for this. They do come. People care a lot that IGN gave a certain game a certain number.
Yes.
More than they probably should.
Yes.
I found this the easiest topic by
yeah,
far.
I knew you would, buddy.
Because I don't have good taste. Like this is fantastic.
You said it, not me. No, I know you love things. I'm gonna flip this into a positive. You both.
Oh, please do.
You're back. I'm gonna flip this into a positive. You find the best parts of whatever it is you're playing. You're an appreciator. Yeah.
No, I guess. I think my tastes have matured, but there were definitely some games I hung on to this day that I look back on. I'm like, why did I like this so much?
Yeah, well, once you ink it on your body, it's sort of hard to be.
Oh, these are all good, baby. These are
sort
all
of hard
good.
to be objective about them.
Yeah, well, okay. Leave my tattoos alone. We'll get to my choice soon.
So usually we just alternate who is going to do their game first. I think this week we should start with whoever has the lowest score.
I know my game's Metacritic score, but I don't know what the lowest score it got. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I just mean the Metacritic.
Oh, see, the Metacritic for mine isn't like too bad, but there are some scores that were like 3 out of 10, 4
Mine's
out of 10.
a 62. Let's kick this off.
Mine is a 59.
Okay, I think mine was 66.
Oh, I never go first.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, I'll kick us off. As I think you two probably know, I have a very soft spot for the PSP.
Yes.
It hit in high school. It was the first the first video game thing I bought myself with my own money. So I have a lot of PSP games that I treasure that I know are not good games.
Not Deadhead Fred. Don't say Deadhead Fred.
Not Deadhead Fred. But some of those include Death Jr., which has like a 71. Namco's Dead to Rights Reckoning, the prequel, the Dead to Rights, the Max Payne spinoff about a disgraced police officer and his cop dog.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I do remember that.
54%. And, of course, Untold Legends, the most blatant Diablo ripoff of all time, 63%. But none of those are my game today. Today, the game I want to talk about is Konami's Coded Arms, which has a 59%.
Never heard of that.
Yep. I don't expect anybody to remember this game unless you were in high school in 2006.
That doesn't bode well for me because I was.
All right, well, let me tell you a little bit about Coded Arms because it's a very cool cyberpunk shooter. So the game takes place in a virtual reality military training program that has been long abandoned and has corrupted code. So it's filled with all kinds of digital monsters and viruses, which are like big bugs. You play as a hacker, and in this world, it is very profitable for hackers to go into old government VR and mine it for valuable data. And this is like the white whale. This is like the big one that no one has been able to crack because it's so dangerous because it was a military training program. The game is like a series of worlds of sort of different genres. So you do like a pretty classic military go in and take out a bunch of snipers in probably the Middle East. And then one of them is like a space station where you're fighting a bunch of aliens. And then one of them is like a castle. So you're kind of going through these different themed worlds, and you have this little AI companion that's warning you about how if you spend too long in a simulation, you're going to get brain melted.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah, they call it, it's called something cool. It's called like Akiba syndrome or something, where like you spend too long in VR, you get stuck there. At the end of the game, you kill the final boss, and in real life, your hacker gets like electrocuted in his VR and trapped in the game, and then that is the beginning of endless mode. So it's this cool like narrative conceit for the like you're forever trapped now, fighting floor after floor. Yeah. Very cool. It is procedurally generated. It's actually a roguelike before we ever called anything roguelikes.
Interesting.
So the levels are procedurally generated. You go through the same stages. It's like first is the compound and then is the space station or whatever. But you loop them twice, like Returnal. But the second time you come back, they're like more corrupted. They're like sort of blending tiles together, and they're like kind of wrong compared to the first time you went through, which I always thought was cool. And then you pick up random weapons, you pick up random armor, and there's a bunch of like elemental things, like you have fire weapons and shock weapons and acid weapons, and they like counter different enemies in different ways. And I just thought it's a really cool game. Unfortunately, it's a first-person shooter on the PSP, which means you have one stick, so controls not good, and so not super surprising that it reviewed so poorly, but I think it's one of those games to look back on, and it was doing some really cool stuff. It did get a sequel. The sequel reviewed even worse. 59 for the first one, 56 for the sequel. There were plans for a PS3 version that did not happen. I imagine it would have been cool because it has a regular controller. Or even a Vita version. Yeah, shooters did not fare well on the PSP, but I thought this was a pretty creative one. And, Konami doesn't have that many bangers. I'm not saying this is a banger, but at least it was something cool Konami was doing once upon a time, you know?
Not pachinko.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look great. It doesn't play great, but it holds a special place in me heart. And I think that's what this episode is all about.
Yeah, I agree. That definitely fits the theme of mine. That does sound like a cool game.
Yeah, Coated Arms. Stacey, you were the next lowest. So what is your favorite game with bad reviews?
I just want to say before I say it, my second pick is a 44, which would have blown everyone out of the water. I wish I'd
wait there. I got to find my second.
All right, we're not going to wait. He's muted himself. This is great pod.
This is going to be so good and so worth it. So my second pick was 43.
Oh, it disputed by a point. Yeah. That drama was definitely
so worth it. We'll get around to it.
Edge of my seat stuff, pal.
My actual pick, though, my favorite badly reviewed game is Agents of Mayhem. Agents of Mayhem. There's noises from both of you.
This is such a Stacey game, too. I love this.
So people who don't know, Agents of Mayhem was a sequel/spin-off from the world of Saints Row.
Yeah.
It was basically, this is a pitch that makes everyone in the world, other than me, think this is a terrible game and is perfectly made for me. It is a hero shooter that has no online mode.
Yeah.
You play as a bunch of different characters who have no personality beyond what you see in a hero shooter. They are from some place on Earth and dressed like they are from that place.
Right.
There is a Japanese guy who is, a like mystic ninja there's like Yakuza, that's what I'm looking for. Like a Yakuza guy. There's someone from the Middle East who's like very mystical. There's a British fella who loves football. He's a football hooligan.
Oh god.
And three of the characters from Saints Row are also there. P.S. Johnny Gat and Kinsey Kensington all appear in the game. I do love Kinsey Kensington.
I do not know why. She's okay.
All appear in the game as playable characters. And it's basically Crackdown with a bunch of different characters that you can choose from. You run around this open world. It's not Stillwater or Steelport. It's not set in either of the Saints Row places, I don't think. It's just kind of a generic run around and do crazy nonsense. Open world, pretty bare bones. Understand why it was kind of reviewed poorly, because it was a hero shooter with no online mode. It had no real personality beyond fancy colors and graphics. But it was just a lot of I don't always like saying turn your brain off energy, but I love all the Saints Row games, but 4 is my favorite, which I know is the stupidest. And it just felt like an extension of that. I actually looked to see if we had reviewed it. It would have been obviously before, certainly before mine and George's time, possibly before your time as well, at the site, Eric. I can't remember exactly when it came out. We didn't. The only thing we've ever written about Agents of Mayhem is me, before the new Saints Row came out, going, I know the new Saints Row is going to be good because they're going to make it like Agents of Mayhem, which turned out to be very incorrect, but also in a way, they did make the new Saints Row like Agents of Mayhem because it was a bunch of characters with flashing colors and no real personality.
And nothing.
I have a lot of love for a game that I know is trash. It's not even a game that I look at the reviews and go, oh, they didn't really get it, or people missed this thing, or they judged it because of this. The way people say like Days Gone was like badly reviewed, because they feel like actually that number should be higher. I think a 62 fits Agents of Mayhem. I just love it anyway.
Yeah. We need a name for this subgenre of these like really over the top open world action games. That's like Crackdown and this and Suicide Squad. That's they're all terrible.
I was really looking forward to Suicide Squad for that reason, because I thought it would be like Agents of Mayhem.
I'm surprised you didn't write that feature too.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are these always bad, but they're always kind of the same thing?
They're snack food. They're so Moorish. I even felt that about Suicide Squad. I knew it was bad, but I couldn't stop playing it. You just kind of get sucked in.
I would throw Just Cause in there, but I was
just going to say it's a higher level of quality, but it's the same energy.
Yeah,
some of the older Battlefields as well, I think, probably have the Bad Company games probably have that feeling
prototype.
to them.
I think people would be very
Prototype.
angry if they heard you say that, but I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I think you're right too.
Bad Company 2, one of the most loved first-person shooters of the last few decades. They're going to be angry people.
But
I agree. I see your point.
But if you widen the net to that, then you're also putting in all the Just Cause games, which are good. You're putting in the last two Saints Row games. I think are pretty universally agreed to be of a higher quality than Suicide Squad.
Yes,
so I think if you widen the net to include those types of games, those big, like brash, what's the fella's name? Kind of Michael Bay as a game,
right?
That's
Michael Bay games.
Michael
you
Bay
nailed
games.
it.
We've got it.
You nailed it. Yeah, but not the Transformers games, which are also reviewed bad.
Yes, but don't really feel like that. Yeah, lacking a soul.
Yeah, Dead Rising is close. Dead Rising is
you take that back. Dead Rising is a league of its own, very specific thing. I won't hear it. Dead Rising 4. Okay,
Dead Rising 4. Michael
Which is not
Bay
the game
games.
I'll talk about.
I think we might have some more Michael Bay games to talk about today. We'll see. All right, good bad choice.
Thank you.
Well done. George, what is your favorite game with bad reviews? And they better be bad.
They are. My favorite game with bad reviews is a deep cut. 2010 Splatterhouse. Did anyone ever play that one?
No. I don't know this.
No, really? Oh, okay. Do you know what Splatterhouse is? Eric, I'm assuming you do.
I know the film,
like the genre,
The genre, yeah.
What? Oh my god!
I've
Okay,
never heard of the game.
So Splatterhouse, I believe it's the Turbo Graphics, is how far back it goes.
Oh.
There used to be these side-scrolling games where you play as a guy in a hockey mask and you literally just smack creatures. It's like bloody, gory. It's supposed to be shocking.
Oh, I do know this game.
Yeah, if you saw it, Eric, if you take a look, you'll probably go, "Oh, okay." So you've seen it around Splatterhouse.
Okay. It was Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
It wasn't, but it looked like Freddy. The guy looked like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, like he's just like a generic horror villain.
Like he has a hockey mask on. Not Freddy Krueger. I mean Jason. Jason's the guy. I mean, yeah. He looks like Jason.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. It was like a whole, like an homage to that, I guess.
Gotcha.
And then they said for years that they were doing like a reboot of it, and it was under Bandai Namco, Bottle Cap Studios. It went through development hell. Now I remember being in school, and you go on YouTube, you like leaked Splatterhouse footage, and it was just like the first ever beta trailer footage. But I was obsessed with it. I don't know why. The reboot is like a 3D action brawler. It's kind of like God of War. And it's not great. It's not great at all. It didn't review well. It got a 4 from IGN, 4.5 from GameSpot.
Out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, out of 10. If it was out of 5, that would have been good. Official PlayStation Magazine even went for 3 out of 10, which I think is very severe. But yeah, it was a God of War kind of clone. But it felt really good. Like, I think his name's Rick is the main character. Like his attacks were like he was a tank. Like no, yeah, Pickle Rick in it. 10 years before he actually was a thing. But yeah, it had like a super cool regeneration system. So like monsters could rip off your arm and then you'd have to fight without it and slowly regenerate it. Jim Cummings. Yeah, it's like X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like it did it like that. Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, voiced the mask, and he does like an excellent performance. Like he's so good. Like he's swearing his head off. Like I love this game, man. Like
that's crazy. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, well, you could never play it. Like it's never had a re-release. They're never doing another one. It sold like ass. It reviewed like ass. But it always had a special place in my heart. Like I understand it's janky. Technically, it's like a mess. Like it's bugs galore, but I don't know. It had like its own tone. It was just bloody fun.
What was that horror game you played recently? It was an arcade inspired thing. It was like the different.
Yeah.
It was actual characters. It had Jason and Ghostface and
Retro Realms.
Retro Realms. So
Retro Realms.
Ash vs. Evil Dead was one of them, and then Halloween was the other. But they're supposed to be doing 2 of them every year. Is the plan.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Looks like the original one looks at what it reminds me of.
It is. Yeah, it's very similar. And as a fun bonus, actually, the 2010 version had the original. There's 2 original Splatterhouse games.
You can play the OG in there.
Yeah, you can unlock them, and they were super cool. Like, there's at least from my side of the internet, where like I used to watch all this stuff. There's a very dedicated Splatterhouse like fan base, even though you two have never heard of it, and I can't believe that. Hopefully it comes back. Like Bandai has the rights. That would be very cool, but I don't see it happening.
George, I sent you a screenshot of the Sega Genesis. Can you describe what we're seeing here?
Oh god. That is one of the horror levels, and those are supposed to be unborn children that you're murdering with a chainsaw.
So they're hanging by their necks, first of all. So it's 3 fetuses.
Yeah, it was pretty controversial.
Hanging by their necks.
It was pretty controversial.
While Jason Pickle Rick chainsaws them in half. Jesus.
They actually do return, not quite to that extent, but there were like baby creatures in the new one, because I think I remember people being mad.
That's in Resident Evil as well.
Yeah, I remember. There's like a dog creature. You put your hand up its ass and you like pull its insides out, like very noticeably its ass. It was very much like I was 11 when this is
Winnie
the
Pooh.
Yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh.
Nice.
And Josh Keaton as Rick as well. They're somewhere. That was it. You hear crying. You definitely in one of the levels hear like far off crying, and they're teasing that there's babies there. I can't remember if they go through with it or not, but yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, maybe this should be left in the past. But
hey,
I enjoyed it. Go play Splatterhouse, everyone. It's so good.
Yeah. All right. Some deep cuts. Actually, I think most people remember Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah, I don't think mine's that deep. My backup probably was.
Let's hear the backup.
It was Big Beach Sports.
I have no idea.
No. It was a rip-off of Wii Sport. It was a Wii game. And it wasn't made by Nintendo, wasn't made by the people who did Wii Sports. It was made by some company that probably had about a budget of about $5. But it was all set on the beach. So there was sports that you didn't play. So there was French bowls and cricket and tag football. Okay. I had a bunch of Wii games I just played over and over and over again. I've spoke before on this show, I think, about how much I loved the Wii because it was the one games console that like we had downstairs in the big TV, and my family all played it, and like my nan and granddad played it as well. So I love this game because I also grew up loving cricket because I'm British. Mm-hmm. It's something that it's an entirely alien concept, Eric. It's basically baseball, but it takes 5 days.
Yeah, you keep saying that, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
And sometimes it rains, and they say, "Oh, well, let's just call it a draw." But I loved cricket. We could never play it on much else. There wasn't a lot of other games for it. So I loved it, and I thought, oh, I bet that reviewed poorly. I looked it up, and it was like scathingly reviewed. There was people giving it like 0 out of 10. Like, this is a waste of time. The people who made this should be fired from the industry. Like, it was just a fun little beach game. It was just a little beach party. It was nice. It did look terrible, mind.
I think my backup is one you both know for sure. Does anyone remember? I believe the same year, maybe a year after Splatterhouse, but Naughty Bear.
Yes,
I played the hell out of
that. We did get a 43.
That got scathing reviews. I was made fun of by everyone I met that I liked this game that was so bad, and that
I would have thought low, but that's really low.
That's really low.
I can understand why. Like, similar to Splatterhouse, it controlled like ass and it ran like ass, but like, I don't know, it was just really creative, and I guess you don't get many games where you are like a stealthy killer where you can. I mean, I guess Behavior, who made this, went on to make Dead by Daylight, and that kind of shows in a lot of how.
Yeah, Naughty Bear's in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, he is. He's a skin. Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, Behavior, like a lot of their games are still janky. Like Dead by Daylight, playing that is an experience. Like, it doesn't run very well either. But I don't know. I never understood the severe hate for it. Like, it was just fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's a silly little bear game.
Yeah.
The mobile version reviewed best. It got a 54.
God. They also did a sequel called Trouble in Scaradise that was only for Xbox
Trouble
Arcades.
in Parrot Scaradise?
It's either, I think I'm mixing it with a Monsters Inc. game. It's Trouble in Paradise, and it's even worse. They removed so much about like what was good about the first one.
I'm mixing it up with the Monsters Inc. game.
I see. This episode was made for me. I'm just rolling off badly reviewed
Panic in Paradise
games.
Is what it was called.
Yeah, well,
Panic in Paradise.
It was fine, but the first one I liked.
My number 2, the scores was too high. It got a 68. I couldn't pick a game with a 68 for my bad review.
What was it?
It's Gauntlet, 2017 Gauntlet. This one drives me nuts, man. Like, what do you want from Gauntlet? Like, all the reviews are, oh, it's too short. Oh, it's very dated. Yeah, it's Gauntlet. Like, that was the assignment. They nailed it.
Is this the one that you asked me if I even knew what Gauntlet was? And I kind of...
Probably, yeah.
I remember answering at the time saying I did, and now it's been said again.
Gauntlet was a big arcade game for me. You know, a lot of the like multiplayer stuff was like fighting games that I didn't know the moves, you know, or like Time Crisis where you die in the first level.
Yeah.
But Gauntlet was a game I could play with my friends or my brother or whatever, and we could actually like get through some levels and like, you know, it's
actually play the game. Somebody's
a warrior, somebody's a mage. It's top down 2D, and you just go through little dungeons taking out mobs of skeletons and stuff. Gauntlet 2017 is just like a more modern version of that. I think it probably would have been better received if it came out in like 2014, 13. I think by 2017 we had Gauntlet like I think like Dungeon Siege 3, which also didn't review great, but was like a modern version of Gauntlet, whereas Gauntlet 2017 was just Gauntlet with nice graphics. So, but yeah, that one drives me nuts because like just meet it this game on its own terms. 68, unfair.
Just like you should do with the Jackass movie.
Yeah, just like with the Jackass movie.
It's the Jackass movie of games.
There's a Jackass game of games actually. There's an old PS2 game for Jackass that
probably has really bad reviews.
Definitely has really bad reviews. That would have been perfect to mention. But I never played it. It was always on shelves at like, I don't know, Woolworths or whatever it was at the time. It just peek out like a £5 sticker, and you'd always go, no.
Jackass the game has a 58.
There we go.
Okay, well that's not that bad.
Lower than any of the games we picked.
But better than Naughty Bear.
Better than Naughty Bear. I refuse to believe that. I don't want to live in that world.
All right, quiz time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quiz time. Okay, so here's the deal this week. Similar format to ones we have done in the past. I will tell you the score. I will tell you the year it came out, and I will give you a quote from a review.
Okay.
That you guess the game. If you can't guess it, then I'll tell you the platform. If you still can't guess it, I'll tell you the genre. And then finally, if you still don't know it, I will tell you the developer and the publisher. And then by then, you will for sure know what it is. These are all well-known games.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to pick games with bad reviews you've never heard of, but you've definitely heard of all of these. And the less clues, the more points. You know how it works, okay?
Yes.
We have 6 rounds today.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
This game...
Are we buzzing in, or is this full?
I think just shout it out. Yeah.
Cool. Yep, go ahead.
This game has a 63. It came out in 2010. IGN said, imbalanced skills, glitches, dim-witted enemies, and repetitive encounters further undercut the entertainment, making this a game you can safely pass by. Any guesses right off the bat for 5 points? You can guess more than once, so.
2010.
Yeah.
This, I think, is too early. I'll say the move the quiz on. Is it Colonial Marines?
No.
It was 2010.
George? Bad game 2010.
Any guess?
No, I need more. All right. I'm gonna be safe.
The platform is Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.
Okay, came out for everything.
Tell you a little bit. Maybe not a lot. Should I keep going?
Yeah,
go on. Yeah, when we get to like genre or publisher, that's when I can jump in, I think.
Is a action role-playing third-person shooter. And that is a very specific genre. I know that sounds like that could be any game, but this is an action role-playing third-person shooter. Yeah, 2010.
What was the score?
63.
That seems really low. I'm going to go for it anyway. Is it Mass Effect 3?
No, but you're so in the right ballpark.
Oh my god! I know exactly what it is. It's oh my god! It's the spy one. Oh, what's it called? Alpha Protocol.
Alpha Protocol is correct.
My god, yes.
Yeah,
Alpha
3 points for
Protocol.
George.
That was only
anymore,
because of
can you?
Stace. It's on
something
GOG
happened
now,
with
I think.
that. You can't buy it.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember if it ever came back, but yeah, it was.
Yeah.
This is a Obsidian game, often compared to Mass Effect at the time. But much like New Vegas to Fallout 3, a much deeper role-playing character, divergent storytelling. Really cool game. Published by Sega, developed by Obsidian, and has aged better than a 63. I think people definitely still talk about this game.
Yes, definitely.
Unlike Naughty Bear.
Unlike Naughty
Bear. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Okay, next round. We have a 2003 game.
Ooh.
It has a 61. GameSpot said, overly simplified gameplay really holds it back, and overall, it's a game that really can't be recommended to anyone.
2003. Spyro the Dragon Enter the Dragonfly?
Not a bad guess, but no.
Great guess, yeah.
Can you imagine? That would have been fantastic.
That's really making me want to guess another one of those kind of era of platformers.
Yeah, go for it. There are so many
decent games at that time. 2003 Crash. Would that have been Twinsanity?
That would have been Wrath of Cortex, right?
I think it would have been Twinsanity, but that is not the answer.
Give us more.
Our platform is GameCube.
Oh, Christ, okay. Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
No.
Oh, that was Xbox anyway. What am I on about?
So confidently naming an Xbox game.
I think I got the year.
I mean, I don't say there can't have been a lot of bad GameCube games. There would have been bad games on the GameCube, but this is a GameCube exclusive.
This is a GameCube exclusive.
I can't remember it having many bad ones, and I know the developers probably going to help. It's probably Nintendo. Let's go to the genre, though.
Yes, the genre is racing.
Oh, interesting.
2003 GameCube racing game, 61%.
Wouldn't be F-Zero GX, would it?
It's not F-Zero GX.
I was gonna say
I think our last clue will give it to you, though. So don't worry if you don't have a guess.
It's not going to be a Mario Kart, is it? Surely Mario Kart couldn't have got that low.
No, Mario Kart would not get a 61.
No.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Double Dash, yeah, would have been the GameCube.
The developer is Hell Laboratory, and the publisher is Nintendo.
Kirby
Air Riders. Fuck, George.
George got it for 1 point.
Yeah.
People didn't like that?
Barely.
What? I know it was really weird.
Yeah. Horrible reviews.
Gosh.
But it's coming back on
come on, Switch 2
this year.
Yeah. Okay. George's in the lead with 4 points, but that's just one answer away from losing it all. Round 3. We have a 2017 game.
Okay.
As a 57. Easy Allies said, while it doesn't reach the lowest lows the series has gone through, it's the kind of game you can breeze through in an afternoon and then forget about immediately.
Oof. That makes me think Sonic straight away. But I think... Sonic Forces?
It is Sonic Forces.
Oh my god, well done.
What are the chances?
Well done.
Wow, that's good.
That is
I was made for bad games.
Yeah, yes. You were made for bad games. This is a Switch, PS4, PC, and Xbox platformer from Sonic Team, published by Sega. Okay, here we are, round 4. Still got 3 more. This is a 2020 game. We all remember 2020 fondly.
Yes.
It has a 67%. VGC said reasonably entertaining, but highly derivative. Everything it has been done better elsewhere. Everything in it has been done better elsewhere.
2020.
2020 with a 67.
I'm going to need
guesses?
more.
I mean, it's not going to be this, because I don't think VGC would have said this about this game, but 2020 bad reviews, I'm just going to go for it. Is it Cyberpunk?
No.
Because that deserved to get bad reviews as much as I love it. I don't think it did. I think it got quite good reviews at first.
It did get quite
went
good
up and down.
reviews, yeah. Okay, this is a PS4, PC, Xbox One, and Stadia
game.
Odd.
Just kind of that era.
The sequel just came out. Savage Planet.
No.
It's probably a bit older. That's probably just gonna know that was on Stadia.
Yes.
I'm gonna need more.
Okay, this is a third-person action adventure.
The most nebulous of genres. That means anything ever.
Plague Tale?
Nope.
Ooh, that's a good guess. I
think it actually reviewed quite well. I just don't really like it.
You're both gonna kick yourselves, I think. Both gonna kick yourselves.
Third-person action adventure. I've had my guess for this round. I know.
The 2020th game.
The 2020th game.
When I think of 2020th game, I think of like Animal Crossing, or which obviously it's not.
No, that review.
You want that? You want the developer?
Yeah.
All right, get ready. You're both gonna shout at the same time. The developer is Crystal Dynamics, published by Square Enix.
Babylon's Fall.
No.
Oh no! Oh, it's Guardians.
No.
Oh my!
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
No, come
that was
on.
2020. Crystal Dynamics.
Have both memory hold this game, and this is hilarious.
Crystal Dynamics.
Somebody guess it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think what Crystal Dynamics had done, and now I'm.
Oh, Avengers! It's Avengers.
It's Avengers. I'm giving Stacey the point.
That game didn't exist. We didn't talk about it.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay. 2 more rounds. These are a little harder. Although I didn't think Avengers was going to be that hard, but
Avengers wasn't hard though. Like sometimes we've done these before, and I've gone like, oh, but we should have got Avengers. Like it's a very obviously badly reviewed game.
I forgot it was 2020. I bloody reviewed it.
I just forgot about the game entirely. To be honest,
you both forgot this game existed. Okay. Here we go. This is another 2020 game. This one actually has a 56%. Eurogamer says a disaster across the board. Unbalanced gameplay, uninspired artwork, and general monotony outline a severely inefficient product.
Babylon's Fall. Are we going for that again?
No, not Babylon's Fall. Which I think is 2021, but
I think the year might be wrong first. I'm going to go for it anyway because it sounds exactly like how I would describe this game. Is it High on Life?
No, that's much more recent.
Yeah. I think that was late 2021, possibly even 2022.
This is a.
It's the year that's struggling.
Yeah. This is a PC game.
PC only game in 2020. Is it? Oh, I can't remember what they called it. Is it the Warcraft game?
The World of Warcraft?
No, they did it. Reforged.
Not a bad guess. No, it's not.
Not Postal 4 or something, is it?
No.
Those games suck.
This is a online multiplayer third-person shooter. Tragically reviewed, but well known.
This is not me guess. I'm just saying it to get it out of the scratchiness of my brain. This is too late for Anthem because Anthem was not the same year as Avengers. It's way too late.
Yeah. PC only as well.
I know which Anthem wasn't. Yeah. Too late for Battleborn. What came out the same year as Avengers? I know.
That's where I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I need more.
I'm stumping you guys on the live service stuff. Okay. Last clue is the studio, which is Relentless, and the publisher, which is Amazon.
Crucible.
It is Crucible, yeah.
Bugger.
Yeah. Amazon's first and quietly canceled game.
Yes.
I like Crucible. I mean, I get it. It's not good. But I thought it could have been if they didn't pull the plug immediately. Okay, here's the last round. We have a 2018 game that has a 28%.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hard to find games that low. PlayStation Official Magazine said a once-in-a-generation terrible game mired by technical and racial issues, pretentious ideas, and poor execution.
The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah. Yes. PC,
Well
PS4, action-adventure beat-em-up by Human Head, published by Square.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a mess.
Wow, George. Wow.
That was my game
You
of the year.
you do love bad games.
You do love a bad game.
I like to, what was it you two said? See the positive, the
Yeah,
enjoyment.
you got
with a
almost
positive,
every answer there. Very good. A very
Finally
good
win a
George
quiz. It's been a while.
You
Yeah.
win most of them. You just,
No, not the past few. This one I was like, right. Get
Logging
your
in.
bad game on,
I've got some more games with bad reviews to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah, do they
These
review?
have bad reviews, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They are all between 64 and 72. All of them. I like these games.
Yeah, we both like them quite a bit.
Yeah, I like them
It doesn't
a lot.
surprise me that they review low. It doesn't surprise me. I know
guess.
they do, so that those numbers don't surprise me, except I've read reviews for them multiple times and seen how low they can be.
People get really hung up on bugs in
Yes.
this one. And to a certain extent, I get it. Like if the co-op doesn't work, which a few of them at launch, you just could not play with your friend. That's, what are you supposed to say about it? Like literally the game doesn't work.
Yeah.
But when you look back at stuff, it's like, okay, people complain about bugs at launch, but actually is the game good? Like I don't care about bugs at this point. But yeah, people, and it's a little obtuse, like the morality system and like, who lives and who dies. It kind of can feel a little punishing if you really want everyone to live. Like if that's how you decide whether you are good or bad. If you're doing good in the game,
you're playing through a horror game. Everyone does not survive.
Yeah,
you've seen these movies before.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
I took a bunch of my friends to the hotel ran by a serial killer, and we didn't all escape.
And they didn't all live. Yeah, it would kind of be worse if they did, right? To throw George a bone, we have a 68 for Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
That's throwing me a bone. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree. I don't like Chain of Memories at all. We've argued about this.
But don't you think the PS2 version is better than the Game Boy one?
I prefer the Game Boy one, if anything.
Yeah, I do too.
Just the flawed nature. I don't want to make this about Kingdom Hearts as much as you've baited me into it, but
yeah.
I understand why people who are smart and can figure out the card system like it, but as someone who likes Naughty Bear, I can't figure it out, and I never liked it.
As the world's most aforementioned Naughty Bear fan.
I'm deck builder guy. This was probably my first deck builder because
it
came out when I was like 12 or something. This is the easiest deck builder there's ever been.
Okay, I get it.
You just make a perfect deck and just run it through the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, the original one had a 72. The PS2 3D version got a 68. I think it's cool that they took a 2D Game Boy game and remade it as a 3D game. That's kind of interesting.
It's kind of the other way around as well, because a lot of games have done that. I remember playing the Tony Hawk's games on Game Boy, and they completely just flipped the perspective of it. So it is cool to see how they're around.
Yeah.
One I talked about in our weird controller episode, which I didn't realize was so low. Resident Evil Dead Aim with a 65. This is the GunCon. There's two of them.
Yeah.
Survivor, which has like a 58, and then that's the PS1, and then PS2 was Dead Aim. That's the one on the cruise ship, and you got to walk around with the D-pad on the gun and then aim it to turn and like. People don't like that one. But I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of the GunCon games have really bad reviews. What are you gonna do?
Probably not play them.
Probably just not play them. Probably not play
Just
them.
hear you talk about them.
Most of my other ones I snuck into the quiz. So we've kind of already touched on them. But I also wanted to shout out Aliens Fireteam Elite, which
is that the recent one? Like recent-ish?
So it's not the most recent. The most recent is Dark Descent.
That's the one I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But Fireteam Elite was like Gears of War, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good for an Aliens game. It's kind of hard to come by good Aliens games. but it has a 69. Which
I mean, you could also technically put. Maybe it's too high, but Isolation didn't review that.
It's got like an 80, right?
I always thought
it got some bad reviews, but the score I think generally didn't sell that well.
I guess it's one of those things.
77, something like that.
We've talked about it before. It's like people have such strong opinions on it. It's just like anything other than the 90.
Yeah, 79 for Alien Isolation.
79. Yeah, there's all like I always think of Prey. But
yes, Prey is a good example.
Prey has like a 79 or something. But I always think of that as a game that got bad reviews. And it didn't.
I have a game for you guys.
Yeah, spit it.
Fairy Tail Fights. Does anyone remember that one?
Fairy Tail Fights. Is that the Shrek fighting game?
No. This is Stace's jam, I think. I think you would have liked this, Stace. Basically, it's like
got a 51.
Yeah, not good. I think IGN gave it like a 2 or a 3 or something. It's basically like a little it's based on fairy tales.
Got a 0 off Game Revolution. Sorry, but it's a 0 from it's a critic review, not just an audience.
Oh my god,
the game would have to cut me open for me to give it a 0.
It was just kind of like it was meh, Like I wouldn't give it a 0. Jesus, you just
so that review, the 0 says, not since Superman 64 have I played something this stomach wrenching.
Jesus Christ, it's just like you play as like fairy tale characters like Robin Hood. Who do I mean? Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, that's the one. And then maybe my God, that's the only one I can think of.
Hansel and Gretel are on the front cover, so.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So you play as them, and it's just like a bloody mess of a game where you're like hacking and slashing.
It's like Alice.
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
Tale thing.
Yeah, it is. It's nowhere near that because it's just like an empty mashing game. Like you're just killing stuff. And the reason I liked it, besides like it being very bright and colorful, you could like slide around in the blood. So, like all the blood you create, you could like slide around in. Yeah, it's cool. I loved that. And you get covered in blood. Like again, it was the same sort of time as Splatterhouse. I think I just had a phase of violence.
Yeah. Alice didn't review that well. All right, Alice got 70.
Alice.
Yeah, they've always
been. The second one I think was worse.
Mini Ninjas is another one that's just jumped.
Mini
to mind.
Ninjas came up, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I think that was like 72 is what I would guess right now, but like I really liked that game. It was just kind of glitchy. I remember it not getting super good reviews.
Yeah, especially pre-patch, like when games didn't get updates.
Yeah, that was a thing. Like if a game shipped with a broken, it was broken.
Yeah, Masquerade Bloodlines didn't get fixed for so many years because fans had to make a patch for it. Stuff like that. All right, Stacey, did you have any other?
No, we went. Games? I mean, I really did like Anthem a lot more than a lot of people did. Like, I know I mentioned it briefly in the quiz there, but the one thing I hated about Anthem was it was a bit halfway through where it made you grind like really obviously. But I quite liked the gameplay and I quite liked the story. I would have, as is my experience with a lot of online games, I always look at Anthem and go, if this had just been like a normal game, I think it could have done quite well. Like there was a lot of the kind of BioWare stuff there. The flight was really cool. It was when people really wanted a 9-man game, they did stuff really well. I just think the online stuff was so dull. The gameplay loop became really dull because it couldn't sustain itself past the main story. And a lot of the combat, like in Suicide Squad, really was repetitive by necessity, and that made it worse. But if they announced Anthem 2 instead of single player, I'd be on board.
It's amazing how close the Anthem story is to the Avengers story.
Yeah. Nearly like, Suicide Squad as well. They're
good
all
campaign. Really good.
Never mind. Yeah, not Suicide Squad.
really good gameplay and just like no tail on it. Just like had no idea how to do the live service.
Yeah.
Thing. Never caught up. But man, if they had just done a big, beefy single player Avengers game, that would have ruled because that campaign's pretty good. It's pretty memorable.
I like the campaign.
Yeah. They do Miss Marvel before Miss Marvel was established in the MCU, so they had their kind of a free run at it. She was a really interesting character. They did the MCU stuff well, but they also made their own stuff well. Like, I liked it.
They did the Captain America's dead, no he's not thing in a really fun way.
I like
he
that.
Escapes from the space prison.
Just on the moon.
The problem was they marketed it as Captain America's dead. Like, no, it's not. because you're selling like deluxe skins for him.
Yeah.
For the single player mode, for the multiplayer mode.
The collector's edition had a in memoriam statue of Captain America. I didn't get it. For once, I didn't get it.
For once, yeah.
It was so obvious from the get-go. Spider-Man was awful in it, though. That's all I'll say. To end on Marvel's Avengers.
Well, he only came to the PlayStation once.
Yeah, and he wasn't in the campaign either.
Bad.
Yeah.
He was not well acted.
They did add good characters, though. They added Black Panther with his own expansion. That was really fun.
Yeah,
but then we're adding Hawkeye. And they said, okay, who's next? That's the other Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop, yeah.
Okay.
Really bizarre. Yeah, and then we got Thor and Lady Thor.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Mighty
Thor. Mighty Thor. Yeah.
I kind of this is weird, but we're talking about Avengers. I kind of miss it a little bit, you know?
I know.
Like, it had potential. I don't hate it.
What they need is a Thunderbolts game.
I would play that. I would legit play that. A single player Guardians of the Galaxy-esque Thunderbolts game. We're cooking here, guys. This 100%. Is not going to be a badly reviewed game. I swear.
Yeah, since Guardians of the Galaxy came out twice, I mean, not a poorly reviewed game. It's got at least an 80, I'm sure. But
didn't get what it deserved.
Deserves 100. Deserves 1 million. What a game!
Like Naughty Bear.
I was just I was just at Sega looking at their Switch 2 launch titles, and I played this Devil Summoner game. I think it's like the third Devil Summoner game. It's called Raidu.
Raidu.
Yeah. It was a PS2 game. I'm sure most people never heard of it, never played it or whatever. But while I was playing it, I just kept thinking, man, this is a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy. I often just end up thinking about Guardians of the Galaxy. When
it was so good, though.
We all do. We all do.
All right. Sequel, please. Please, Tencent or whatever. Give us a bone. Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah.
That's going to be it for this episode of Your Favorite Game. Those are our favorite games with bad reviews, but we would love to know your favorite games with bad reviews. They better be bad reviews, though. So leave us a comment. Get in touch. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and visit us at thegamer.com. That's The Gamer. No spaces.